And joining me in the studio is France 24's Angela Diffley. Angela, can you give us a little bit of the background to this proposed law?
Yeah, Delano touched on it a bit there. There have been two major scandals. We've reported on both of them here on France 24. Some of our viewers will remember Notre-Dame de Bétharram, which was a Catholic boarding school in southwest France, where over decades, it appears, there was a lot of abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse and psychological abuse. There was a culture of silence. The children didn't know who they should report this to. And that has come to light recently with the school has been closed and the Catholic Church is examining where things went wrong. The other major scandal we have reported on two over recent years here in Paris, and it is emerging in some other areas around France. The Paris City Hall, which is behind the employment of these people, their school assistants who run after-school programs and supervise children at lunchtime in primary and nursery schools. There have been, again, a number of allegations of sexual abuse and physical abuse. So this bill before Parliament today originally was put forward when the Catholic school scandal emerged. They then added on the after-school programme employees. Because of complications in the way it has gone through the National Assembly, it has until midnight tonight for the vote to be held. If it isn't held, that's it. That's the end of this bill. So there's a lot of pressure because most MPs agree on the broad thrust of this. The idea is to try and limit the number of amendments so that the essentials might be voted upon. We will see. There is no guarantee. And the essentials are more or less, as Delano talked about there, this idea of compensation for victims who were not able to take their cases before courts because they happened outside the statute of limitations. There is the idea of having a compensation fund for them paid for by the state. The state must recognise its failure to protect children, even in those Catholic schools as well. Those are some of the essential items that it's hoped there might be agreement on.
But as you point out, there's a fair degree of disagreement over this law,
yeah,
isn't there?
A huge number of amendments to this. This broadly touches on the very sensitive area in France of the relationship between the Catholic Church and the state. Catholic schools in France are very often subsidised by the state. There is a third status of Catholic private education, but the vast number of them are subsidised by the state. And ever since the French Revolution, the relationship between the state and the Catholic Church has to be very carefully managed. It's in the Constitution. France is a secular state. It is not a theocracy. There is no established church. And the Catholic Church has been pushed back again and again. It has to have this managed relationship with the state where it knows it is subordinate to the state. If you look at Notre-Dame, the cockerel, the rooster, is above the cross, and that is to symbolise the fact that the state has power. There is worry among Catholics who vote often right and far right that this bill, although well-intentioned, is the beginning of a slippery slope of the state intervening too much in Catholic schools, and that the idea is to gradually push out the Catholic Church of these schools. So there are some arguments on the right and the far right about that.